Zeimet Show. Discovering you. Rewiring the brain. Rebuilding confidence. And harmonizing with nature. With over 4 decades of changing lives, your self-discovery archaeologist, get ready to be the best of you with your host, Beverly Zeimet.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Beverly Zeimet Show, where being the best you can be, it just got easier. My guest today, calling in from the UK, is Mutita Panmook. Did I say that right?
Correct.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's so good to see you. Gosh, all the way on the other side of the pond. This is what's so exciting and so much fun doing the show, is I get to talk with beautiful people like you from all over the world, And it's just, gosh, I don't know. It just really brings the world smaller, I guess, you know. I'm always out here in space, so to speak, right? But being able to connect down there on the planet, right? I can like fly over top of you, right? And put you on screen. So, Mutita, tell the audience what it is that you do.
So I'm Mutita Panmook, business operations strategist, and I help solopreneurs to become a visionary CEO by creating systems to automate and delegate their business tasks in order to get back at least 10 hours a week without sacrificing their lifestyle.
Oh, without sacrificing the lifestyle. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about lifestyle, because when you look at the things that are going on in the world today, lifestyle has kind of been turned upside down and inside out and backwards and everything else, right? So when you're working with your clients, how do you help them with that mindset and with their lifestyle under the circumstances of what's going on?
I believe that first of all, you have to accept who you are currently and who do you really want to be and earn that position, right? Because if not, you couldn't transform from like working everything on your own and having a team work for you, and you can free up more time. So most of my clients, before we even start the service or anything, or like on the discovery call even, I would ask them to track at least in the past 7 days, how is that daily basis looks like. And that helps me a lot to know more of who they are. Like, get out of bed. Do you do your bed in the morning, or you just go straight to grab your coffee? That's how your autopilot doing our daily basis, right? And that's 100% effect on how your business will run.
You know, that makes sense. It makes perfectly good sense. You know, we all have these old or autopilot habits, right?
Yeah.
We get out of the same side of the bed. We go through the same motions. We don't have to think. We just do, right? And a lot of times we just kind of like drag it around, you know, instead of getting up and say, "Hey, good morning, world!" Right? Here we go. What am I going to do today? That's kind of what I ask myself every morning is, what can I do today to be that better me?
Yeah.
Right?
Who can I serve today in the morning? Like, I feel grateful that I still have something to do today. Something like that. That's how I wake up as well.
Yeah. You know, it's a new day. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow may never get here. So what can I do today to create new adventures and new fun? And I'll tell you, since I've been doing this show, it just makes my day enlightened to get up, to say, whoop, who am I going to meet today? That's, you know, and we do this all organic, right? And because we haven't met each other.
Yeah.
Right? At all.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's afternoon for you. It's 7:30 in the morning for me when we're recording here, right? It's like, wow. You know, it's like, and to be able to meet someone and to just have a conversation as if we have known each other forever is what makes this job so much fun, right?
I know. I love it. I mean, internet is my everything right now. Like, I get to have more connections. Like how people say, network, your network is your net worth, right?
Yes.
And that's what I learned from this online business thingy that I have been in for 3 years. Even I'm still the starter though, like 3 years still a short period of time. So I get to know many people. Like I have seen that success journey from like where they have started and then where they are right now, and it's amazing.
Yeah, oh, it is. It's so heartwarming when you can take someone from here, point A, and move them over there to point B, and then to C, and then to D, and watch them grow and mature and watch their business begin to soar and their whole outlook on life and their whole lifestyle begin to just shift into what they're looking for. It's creating your own destiny, right? But you made a very good point when you said it all starts in here. It all starts with you, right? And so it's knowing who you are, knowing where you want to go, but knowing the what of what makes you that special you. And the how is going to come, and knowing the why, to have a purpose. What is your purpose to serve others, right? And
Yeah.
and where does that go? So we all have to ask ourselves that. What is our
Yeah.
purpose, right? And so how many years have you been doing this, working with people this way?
Well, 3 years,
Three
let's say.
years?
Well, two officially, but I have been starting like for about 3 years, let's say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Many lessons learned, many fails and error along the way, but I'm still here. Like I'm still doing it. So
There
it's
you
meant
go.
to be then. Yeah.
Your greatest failures turn out to be your greatest successes, right?
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have those failure, you don't have anything to tell others. Like watch
Yeah.
out.
That's right. That's right. And the same thing, doing the show. I've done a lot of different shows and been on TV since I was 7, and so I've done radio, I've done TV and internet, they're all different, but they're the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
And working in recording studios and behind the scenes, in front of the scene, it's different being on all sides of the fence. And with technology today, it has gotten, oh my gosh, it has gotten so much simpler because things can be automated. And it sounds like how you were describing what you help your clients with is to help them become automated, right? Because you mentioned delegating. This
Yeah.
is a key word. Explain to the audience exactly what delegating means and how it can help them to be more proficient in their business.
Sure. I mean, I talk about this every single day because, like, I believe that people scare of giving their tasks to others, especially when they become a business owner. They feel scared that other people who they outsource or like hired couldn't do it as good as they have been doing.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that. Because I see that happening, not only with myself, I saw that happening, right? It's like, nobody can do it as good as me. I need to do it all, right? Because I have something to prove to the world, right? And all of a sudden, you're just like, you're so inundated with everything, and you're like, get me out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And then you overwhelm, right? And then you say that I have no time to do that. And it's
Yes.
already on your to-do list for like months and you keep procrastinate because you have never prioritized things. And that's happened. I also still happening from time to time. Like
Yeah.
with myself, I have to accept I'm not perfect, but the fastest you catch that and you think that no, I cannot do this anymore. What can I do to make all of my tasks done on daily basis and it wouldn't affect other people? We
Right.
have to think that okay, I need someone to do it for me, and how I could get the right person, right?
Right.
That's the way you recruiting process jump in that. Oh, right, I have to find the right one. So these are the criteria, and what else? How experience, like what they have been through, what they have done, so that there would be a good fit with me, and I could somehow trust them because trust is earned.
Yes.
That let them prove themselves to me that they can do, and we will see how it goes from there.
Yeah, and that's so true. It's so true because if you don't have trust with the other person that you're working with, it's always going to be in the back of your mind, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, are they doing it right? Are they doing it wrong? Are they doing it at all? Right? And so it's like being that expression of you to really interview and know what questions to ask in that interview and what responsibility are you going to give them. And it's kind of like if you've had children, right? It's kind of like when you first give your child different responsibilities. When they're tiny, they want to always do everything. They want to get up there in the dishwater, and they want to, play over here in the laundry, and they want to help you cook, everything, right? They want that responsibility. Once they start to get a little older and they get into the teenage years, it's like, are you kidding me? I don't want to do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
you know,
But this is a good point though. However, the parents, they already have the nature and they already aware that what is it that the step that would take from start washing the dishes until it's already get back to the rack, right?
yes.
That's like autopilot. Business as well. Most of the solopreneur couldn't explain to me on the first day that we meet what are they doing on daily basis. And that is the biggest breakthrough once they figure it out what they are doing on daily basis, on weekly basis, that they have been doing every single thing on their own.
Right.
Because if not, you couldn't explain this job description and this responsibility to other people that you're gonna hire further. Because
Oh,
they wouldn't understand. They're not you.
right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because if you don't understand the steps of the business that you're going through, because it becomes that autopilot thing, right? You're just going through the motions, and it's like, I have a program where I teach people how to start a professional show, how to set yourself aside, from everybody out there buying time. And now, especially, the internet is the saving grace because everybody's out there wanting to do lives. Have never done lives before.
Yeah.
They want to make an impact in their business. They're scared out of their wits, to do it because fear of being in front of someone, whether it's in front of a camera or on stage, is greater than dying, and so, but they're doing it. And again, how do you set yourself aside? So if you're going online and you're getting out there in that face of the world, when you can set yourself apart from everyone else out there, that makes a huge difference. And regardless of what your business is, it's how you perceive and it's how you come across as, because that's what builds that trust.
Yeah, I mean, I learned this a very hard way, like to be myself unapologetically, like show up authentically, right?
Yes.
And before that, I have like at the very start that I just start doing the branding and stuff, I thought that, hey, I have to make the message that like resonate to my audience,
Right.
but not really about me, about them. But I forgot that who I am exactly, that I want them to know as well. And that is a great puzzle that I was missing at the beginning of the time that I just started online. And once I shift my mindset to like, hey, I have to be more picky now who I would like to work with because I have to attract the right client, same as who I'm gonna hire. It's the same thing. So I have to be myself first and
Right.
accept who I am. Then I can show up and I can just freely speak without any script. Speak from my heart to you, for example, to the audience. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I kept this show organic and not, running through, well, let me see, I'll ask you this question, I'll ask you this question, right? Because you can tell when it's put together and when it's real and it comes from the heart. And regardless of what your business is, it's letting people know you, the real you inside, and how I can serve you. But you made a really strong point, Mutita, when you said you were losing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because you weren't showing up authentic. You weren't showing up real. And how many of us do that? And showing up unreal, shall we say, is because we have this mindset, this belief that we have to be a certain way with people that we come in contact with. So how do they want me to be when I show up for them? Right?
I was afraid that they wouldn't accept me from who I am. I was
Right.
afraid that I'm not good enough,
Yeah.
So that's like huge thing for me until today. I have to fight with that like second thought every single day. Like, no, just bullshit. Just like go away, go away. Like I still have to fight with it because like that is my old belief, and the time that I can change the belief, I can change my thought, then my action will change, right?
Oh yes.
So
Yeah, and
like
that's a key. That's a key. It's first recognizing what the old program is, and knowing that it's been your personality trait. It's been your truth because it's on autopilot. So it's become that truth. How do you shift that? And that's one of the things that I like to work with people with is getting rid of that old baggage permanently. Not trying to shove it and bury it and get it. It's actually getting completely out of the autoplay turning, which is in that subconscious and it's in your cell memory. So I work with a little program that I designed called the Rah system. But it's key to recognize and then acknowledge that it's truth, and you've done that, and now to release it. And you're doing the best that you can by saying, okay, it's here, I'm going to change it, I'm going to push it away. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to just like make it disappear? And then once it's gone, you have a void in that cell. Now you can put back in your new truth of who it is that you are being, that real you, in that space. And then accept that as being that new truth. That becomes your automatic autopilot instead of the old stuff playing out. So that's how things work. We don't know what we don't know. We don't do what different until we know something different, right? It's the knowledge that we gain and the action we put that knowledge into. And so it's a learning curve. We're on this journey. I learn something new every single day.
same here. Yeah.
And it's what helps to make me a better me, right? So listening to you talk and being able to be that expression is great because you're recognizing that, hey, for me to have that lifestyle that we talked about earlier, for me to have the lifestyle that is in my destiny, in my goal reaching, right? At the same time, reaching out to others, how can I serve you, right? And helping you become that better, you helping your businesses grow. It all starts with recognition because you help recognize, help them recognize what are their daily habits. What are the motions that they do, right? How do we get behind the scenes of what that automatic pilot is? Because that's where it has to shift. That's where they have to know what's going on. How many hours in the day, how many minutes in the day are we in idle automatic pilot that doesn't really benefit what we're looking to accomplish because we become busy being busy, right? So when your client is talking with you, let's just say a potential client, and you're seeking out behind the scenes here, what exactly is it that you're looking for that you recognize in what their habits are that says, aha, I get them, they're a fit?
So basically, the first thing is that they have to be honest with me. Like that's the first thing. Because if they cannot answer my question like honestly and with their how to say this word? Wait, I just cannot say that word.
Integrity?
No. I just cannot say that. Okay, anyway, just tell me what is the current situation they are going through and what is the struggle. Like all the struggles that they are having currently. That's why they reach out to me.
Right.
And honest. Because like you couldn't believe how many people talk to me and they don't know their numbers. They cannot say that, like as you mentioned, how many hours a day, what are their business hours, they don't know yet.
Right.
No, so that's how they mess up between their personal life and their business life, especially when they work at home. If you don't know your business hours, oh my gosh, 24/7 is gonna be your business hour if you stay at home. And especially if you work online. Like I always joke like this, I used to be like that actually. I woke up, open my laptop, carry on working. Okay, lunchtime, going for lunch break, come back, carry on working. Midnight, shut down my computer, go back to bed, and repeat again. That's I used to live, and I know it was so bad. Like that
Yes.
was like I totally have to sacrifice every single thing in me, and it hasn't worked. I was work at the most like effort I have had at that time, and it's not paid me back as what I deserve.
Right.
So I changed the way I think. I shouldn't live this way. Well, it comes to when you mention about a goal, let me tell about my goal so that people don't confuse why I'm here in the UK, right? I'm from Thailand, so I'm Thai originally, and I want to have a freedom lifestyle that I can travel anywhere in the world. So there are two things. First, I have to get visa because if anyone doesn't know, Thai people quite hard to get a visa. And two, I need to have bank statement. So in order to have that both and have some like residential permit in other country, I have to be able to invest in myself, step outside, and at least live somewhere else. That's why I pursue my master degree, and I'm here in the UK to study my master degree first before I figured out which country would be the next place that I would be like
Sure.
settled down. Yeah, but it's the plan, right? I have to make plan for myself that where I really want to be until the point that I could like gather all the support that I have, which is I'm working on it, financial side, business side, professional side. When the time is right, I would get everything I want because I have strategic plan and I always working towards that. I change the plan, but I wouldn't change my goal that I want to travel the world and like I could just ask for the visa or like buy a ticket and I just go. That's like my ideal, like ultimate life
Right.
goal.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's is my passion that when I say that without sacrificing your lifestyle, that's what I mean. I am living it. I am working on it. Well, if I didn't get locked down like this, I would be well right now I would be in Thailand because like I supposed to go back home but I couldn't even enter my own country. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, so you can connect the story right now why I'm doing what I do. And it's very important to know the process of your life and your business because it's somehow integrated and it's the same thing.
It does integrate it, and you made some really really good points there. It's that main focus out there. Your ultimate goal was travel wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go, however you want to go, as often as you want to go, stay as long as you want. I get that because that's the lifestyle that I live. Okay, and I've been doing it since '97, and it's
In
great.
1997.
In 1997, I
Oh my
took
God.
off in my RV, and I've never looked back. Right, and so it's been great. So don't give up on it. It's there, and it's the stuff in between. It's the stuff in between that shifts. But every time something shifts in between, it gets us another step closer to that reality, right? So it's the how inside that shifts to get us there. That's the learning curve. That's the journey. That's the adventure, right? But you never lose track of the ultimate, the ultimate, and to be able to do it with, as you said, the lifestyle. That's you, and being that authentic you. And right now, with the situation that's going on in the world, it's like you mentioned. I felt the emotion. I couldn't even enter my own country.
Yeah, they require documents and in order to, so I'm in Belfast. In order to get that like certified from the embassy document, I have to go to London, which even like more risky places to be at the current moment. I don't even want to go to the airport. So I decided not to go back because I feel it's too complicated
Right.
and yeah, just be here until things get back on track.
Yeah, and that's very key right there. Stay where you are, know where you are, and regardless of what's going on around the world, this is still good information. Is to know where you are in the presence of who you are, in the presence of what your destiny is, what it is that you want, where that purpose is. Because a lot of people, and I'm sure you've noticed with your clients, is they don't know what their purpose is. So that's what's really hard for them to stay on track, to know, what are their working hours. And like you mentioned, from working from home, if you're used to going and clocking in to 9 to 5, right? Because now when you push that little time clock, they own you for that many hours. And you do what you're told to do. You're right there, you've got your little activities, right? And then you punch out. Now it's your time again. Now what are you going to do? They call it a side hustle, right? A part-time business. But how serious are you? And that's something that's personal, right? How serious am I in my business? And what's going to make me most productive? Because when you go home, especially for a woman, and even double time if you have a family at home, it's like, oh, who left the dishes on the cupboard, and so you got to take them off. It's like, oh man, dirty clothes on the floor, toys on the floor, whatever, right? We get lost in that daily activity. And then pretty soon, how many hours have gone by? And it's like, oh God, I'm so tired. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. So the first thing you got to do is what? You've got to take yourself serious, right? Because if you don't take your business serious, that new business that's happening, no one else is going to take you serious, right? And you've got to put that into action, as you said. Here, you're up first thing in the morning, you turn on your computer, you go grab something to eat, and sometimes, and I'm sure you've done this, I'm guilty of it, you bring your lunch or your dinner right here in front of your computer.
We just talk about that.
And breakfast is there, lunch is there, dinner is there, right? As you're eating in between, you're doing, right? You're just going, so you don't really even separate that time. Or if you do, you just like gobble it down really fast and get back in there. So, and I'm sure a lot of listeners out there, come on guys, tell us down here, have you done that? Have you done that? So it's being productive in the hours that you spend and knowing, like you said, knowing what you're going to do on those business hours. It's like, okay, I'm going to take 3 hours out of my day to work on my side hustle business, right? Or even if it's more than that and it is your business, your major mainstay business, and you're working at home, you need to keep that structure. Have that section of your home just segment it from the rest of it. When you walk into that door or into that room or into that space in the corner, whatever it is, you've got to shut everything out behind you. Because if you don't, you're gonna be thinking about what you should do. You're gonna get up, go to the bathroom. You're gonna get up and go get a glass of water. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna get sidetracked. And so it's having that focus, right? That mainstay focus, that ultimate goal. So everything, what I'm hearing from you, Mutita, is that every action I take, every activity I get involved with says, I'm traveling. Wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, however I want to go, as often as I want to do it, right? You never lose sight of that. And so that's what you're looking to get across to your clients, is to be able to, know their ultimate goal and focus on what their purpose is. So how do you help someone find their purpose? Because I know that was one of the key things when I work with clients is they don't know what their purpose is.
So here's the difference that I found. All of my clients have dreams and purpose. Like, what are the things that push them to have the motivation of doing this every single day? But they have never done the reverse engineer. How many steps would it take to get there?
Oh, say that again. That's key.
So, like the big purpose, right? The whole ultimate goal. It seems very attractive, but they forgot how many steps would it take in order to get there. And they want the fast result, which never come fast at all.
Right.
So that's the problem of my clients. They might already make some lump sum money consistently, good for them. Um, all the best. I mean, I totally grateful that most of my client is like that, and they don't know on the back end of that business, like because when you start, you want to make money first. I totally understand.
Right.
You want to make more clients, you want to have more customer, but you forget that when you have a lot of clients and a lot of customer, how you gonna serve them
Right. Right.
with
Exactly.
your own limit 24 hours a day, which you cannot work 24 hours a day for sure. And what is your ultimate goal? Like what we talk, for example, having 10 million cash in the bank account. And what is your revenue goal this year? What was the revenue goal last year, and how you project and forecast to this year? Like those number, and then those spreadsheet, everything, they don't like to document. I always
Right.
compare, like when you go to see a doctor, right? um, if you have a flu, or like you have some infection that you have never had before, your doctor definitely can ask you what you have been doing past week and past month. Same thing as a business. Like if
Yes.
right now you cannot handle this like bottleneck, what you have been doing in the past week and past month, it's the same thing.
It is the
So
same thing.
yeah, I know.
It's a
It's
great
funny.
analogy. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's actually that simple to evaluate your current situation.
Right.
And I just be the one who tell them what they have never seen or noticed before, and guide them further what next. Because that's something that I could be the accountability partner, let's say,
Right.
and hold hand with them and walk further, because they're almost there, but maybe they are too like rush on it, or their ultimate goal they set is too close. It might require few more steps to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it impossible, but everything have their own time, right?
Yes, everything has its own time.
Yeah,
That is a key. Yes.
there are like legal requirement conditions, like the workers, those recruiting or people problem always having on daily basis anyway, and like policy and so on. There are many factors,
Mm-hmm.
and there are many stakeholders that involve in your business, in anyone business.
Right.
And the problem that I found, once we discover this thing together, they feel overwhelmed, and they totally ghost me for a while. Can you
Oh
imagine
my
that?
goodness.
They pay me to ghost me. I'm like,
That is
because
too
they,
funny. Oh my
no,
gosh.
because they said that they don't know what to do.
Right, and so they don't want you to know where they are, because that's interesting, because that is so true. It is those steps, right? It's kind of like going up a stairs, right? And it's got like 1,000 steps on it, right? Well, we want to go fast, so we wanted to see if we can jump. And if you got really long legs, you might be able to take 3 steps at a time instead of, right? But at the same time, no matter no matter how many steps there are, and if you skip them, you're gonna come
Have to
back
go
down
back. Yeah,
to fit, right? So you
exactly.
might as well take them right along the way. It's like it's kind of like when you get a package, a box that you got to put something together, whether it's a shelf or a desk or whatever. You got to put it together, right? There's a little thing in there called instructions, right? Well, how many of us don't even look at
Read
those?
that.
I'm guilty. I am so guilty of that. I am. Oh God, I've done this millions of times, right? And then it's like, oh crap, I needed to stick that on first because now I gotta take this apart, right? So when we follow the
Yeah,
instructions, and
it's
life,
actually a lot faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh gosh, yeah, and a lot simpler, and then it does it, it sits straight instead of crooked, and it's not wobbly, But life doesn't come with instructions like that, does it? Right? Business doesn't come with instructions like that. However, there is a basis for that. It's just like doing this show, just like what we're doing here, Mutita, you and I. And when we look at what's behind the scenes to make this happen, Here you are over there in Belfast, UK. I'm over here in Farmington, New Mexico, right? That's a long distance apart. But here we are as if we were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
What goes into that? And where is this streaming to? I mean, it's going out on numerous social medias, right? And there's a little piece here, and there's a little piece here, and there's a little piece over there. Oh, well, let's see, is my mic working? Is your mic working? Okay, oh, is the picture right? Are we crooked? Are we straight? Do we have excess lines? All of these things that go behind the scenes that people don't realize. But then just being in front of the camera, there's other things that are going on. So when it comes to just doing a show, it's not just about turn on the camera and go. Does that work? Yes. But how can you make that better? How can you make that more professional? How can you follow each one of those steps? Right? And it's not your expertise. It's not everybody's expertise. But you know what? Everyone has the mindset and the ability to learn something new. So when I started this show, it's not the first show that I've done, but it's in a different way. It's like, okay, I have all these different credentials from my background, right? And it's like, I need to bring this together to this online presence because it's different, than when you're doing TV and radio, but it's the same, but it's different. It's like, okay, so what platforms do I need to have and to be able to put them together, because it's kind of like making a business funnel, right? So you have to have your lead page, and then you have to have it go over to this, then it has to go to the pay, and then it has to come to the thank you, and then it has to have the follow-up, right? All of these things, if one of those little niches don't work, the whole funnel goes down. It's the same thing that's happening here, right? So it's finding reliable sources. And I found a tech guy. There it is, right? Because now, could I have done this all myself and found it? Yeah, but do I want to do it? No. That's about delegating, right? And finding someone that you can put your trust in. And it was so perfect because we had this show. It started on a Friday. And he says to me, well, when do you want to start your show? I said, Wednesday. He goes, okay, we can do this. So he gives me all this stuff to do, right? It's like, all right, so load this program, and then go out, get all your links, all these different things, right? And then call me, and we'll set up an appointment. And this was, I think, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Okay, fine. So I stayed up. I loaded everything, got everything into order, exactly a check, right? And that's another good thing. Make your list and check it off, right? Don't keep it up here. When you keep your checklist up here, then your creativeness doesn't have space to get in there. So whatever you can throw out here, do it, because it really helps to clean that mind up. So I contacted him at 7 o'clock the next morning. We were in different time zones, right? And I said, okay, it's done. When can we do this? And he goes, you did everything what I said? I said, yep, all of it. I double checked it. He goes, okay, you're serious? I said, well, yeah, right? And so he got on. He took over my screen. He put this whole thing together because I had all the pieces. All he had to do was make sure that what this program was doing was talking to this program, and this program had to be lined up to make everything clean. And that's why behind me, it's clear. I don't have all this fuzz jumping around. I don't have, all of these little things that you don't know, right?
Yeah, because like many people who use green screen, they have the problem when they move and something. I have seen you moving, but it's very like precise. I mean,
and again, that's knowing what's on this program that you have to adjust, right? Where's your lighting? All of this is that behind the scenes stuff, right? And I have my checklist that I go through every time before I do a show. So I'm usually on 15 minutes, 10 minutes ahead of time, get it all lined up, check. So that when, like Mutita, the guest, comes on, all I have to do is couple check her and boom, right? And so life is that way. business is that way. It's those steps. And I don't miss any of those steps in that checklist, because if I did, something might run amok. Oh my gosh, when all of a sudden everybody's using the internet, right? And we're on a Zoom right now, right? Oh my gosh, Zoom just like went off the charts, right? So many people using it. People were hacking in all over the place. So now they're making massive changes. And they didn't ask me. I mean, oh my God, they didn't ask me. They didn't say they could do that. Are you kidding me? So,
Oh
so,
my God.
so I go through my checklist. Everything's running on this side. We work, but it was in the back end of Zoom that I never got a notice for or anything. And it messed up my shows, right? I had 2 shows that I recorded, and it's like, wait a minute. Everything looks beautiful. My voice is working. My guest voice wasn't working. What on earth happened? Right? And so it took about, oh my gosh, it took us about 12 hours with my tech guy. We eliminated, double check. I mean, everything, and write down. And then when we got into the Zoom background, it's like, oh my gosh, here it is. Because of all the hacking that was going on. So it's investigating. When something runs amok in your business, what is it? And sometimes it's not always present, and you got to dig. So when you're looking at, when you're looking at emotions and how they block you, the negative old belief structures, as you mentioned earlier, right? It's like, I got to push them out of the way, right? We need to recognize those things and get through them. And that's one of the steps, to erase these things and to keep them going on and building that structure.
Yeah, I mean, what you have done a great job is that you notice everything that have changed, Not everyone's doing that. They might solve the problem front end, but they forgot to have a business diary somehow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's what's the root cause. Yeah, it's getting to the root. It's like if you have a weed and you just cut the top off, that weed's going to grow back. And it always grows back stronger and bigger, doesn't it? It does that, because it's like we do that. When something gets cut off, we come back with that fire stronger. But the root cause is still there. What can we do to eliminate that root cause? So it's getting to the root and pulling it out so it doesn't come back to repeat itself. And those are techniques that work in the industry. And it's not about one person that you're working with. It's about having a team.
Yeah.
And that's where that delegating comes in, right? It's having that team. Are you a team player? For me, are you a team player? Are you a team player? Right? So you have a coach that's going to help you with your finances. You have a coach that's going to help you with your emotions. You're going to have a coach that helps you find your purpose. You're going to have a coach. It sounds, it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So when you're working with someone, Mutita, and you're you're trying to dig out these numbers, these things that they look at as maybe being, well, what do you need that for? That's all fine. I got that under control. What they don't realize is that's one of the steps that you need to have in place to know what's the step that has to have prior to that you missed, and what are the steps above that are missed to reach that ultimate. Is that kind of true with what you do?
It's like many people don't want to talk about money, right? But they forgot that your business have to make profit, because this is profitable business. And without those numbers, you cannot reflect back on how your business plan currently works and where it hits into that you want to change to that one. So everything have to change from the fundamental basis. And yeah, I mean, if they said they got that handled, I will ask them, and why you call me? Why you
Then what you talking to me for, right?
Yeah. It seems like you already get everything in place. Why do you need me then? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So if they are not coachable, I will not work with them like that. Like, I don't want to drain my energy as well.
Right.
I want them to go to where they want to be with me, walking with them along the way. And that is the happiest thing ever when you
Right.
see anyone transformations. I mean, like, I couldn't stress about that enough. It's very happy feeling, like, for real. I just
Oh
like
yeah,
to.
it is. It really is. You know,
Yeah,
and
and
it's on both sides. It's you and it's the client. But again, it's building that trust. And like you say, a lot of people don't want to talk about money because they don't. They look at the money aspect of being the failure or the success, right? Well, just tell me in between. Well, it's hard to tell you in between if I don't know where you started. And it's building that trust, right? And
because because this is another thing. I don't want them to hire someone too early as well until they know their business path, like
right,
how it exactly work. Because if it haven't worked yet, you shouldn't hire anyone at the moment, and not
right,
even me. Like, I will walk you to make that work and reach out to me again afterward because it's not the right time yet. You know,
yeah,
those are the elements that, like, very details, and some people might think that I'm micromanage. Well, I do, but that's how my jobs looks like. I have to see the details.
right,
However, I also have to see the bigger picture as well. If not, I wouldn't see the A B C D, um what do you call it? See, I just cannot think about that one. Milestone that they have to check off to get to the ultimate goal.
right,
It's like
exactly,
that. Zoom in
yeah.
and zoom out.
Well, you know, too, and if they miss that, you know, if your client can't trust in you to answer the questions that you're answering, because each one of those are steps, right? Each one of those are those stair steps, you know, for you to put them in alignment. Because all of these things, they might have this down here on this step when it really needs to be up here on this step, and we got to get all this stuff in between. So how do we do that? And again, if they are hesitant to share certain things, then you can't complete your job, and they're on the road to failure because of the missing pieces that they are so concerned about sharing, right?
They might not fail, but they feel disappointed with themselves. And that is
Yeah,
the worst feeling ever, like
right,
when you have the high expectation with yourself, but even how hard you work is not getting there. I know that feeling, but
yeah,
because you have to break it smaller and appreciate today's win, like every small wins to keep yourself motivated and then keep going. Don't stop. It's
right,
just almost there.
right. Yeah, because it's all those little wins that make that make the big win, right? And I don't know if you've experienced this, but you know, different goals and different, you know, things that I've done along the way, you know, in my life, you know. And again, it's all in the timing, as you mentioned earlier. There's when the time is right, it just happens, and it's all those little things along the journey that I found, you know, after reaching that ultimate goal, you know, one of the goals that I set, you know, and it's like, wow, the big aha moment, and then it was like, oh, it was like short lived, right? And then I go back and I look at all the experiences that got to that one moment of fame. It's like, that's what you remember the most, not the aha moment of, right? And then it's like, oh, well, what's next? Now I got to figure out something next. Okay, I got here. What's next, right? And so you start looking for that next big aha moment, you know, in the flash, and boom, and it can be, but it's the journey that's rewarding. That's the journey, and that's the reward of that ultimate, and then on to the
Yeah.
next. So don't give up. You know, that's, you know, and this is what you've done. You know, you've had your struggles, and we all have. And all of our clients are our teachers, and all teachers become clients, right? So there's that exchange, and that's what it's all about. It's an exchange, and it's about being truthful and honest and working in integrity, right? And that's what makes that fit. Because there's billions of people in the world. Why should I pick you? And that's some of the lessons that we learn, right? Is
Yeah.
why do we choose the people we do to have in our circle? Where do they come from?
Very
with,
important.
yeah, yeah. And the
Yeah, very
technology
important.
of today gives you a bigger and broader perspective, right?
Yeah, you have to filter more who you're gonna connect
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah,
So it's very important. Like when you change the people who you're surrounding with, you change the way you think because you
right,
got influence from them as well somehow,
right,
and that's really matters. I still learning things every single day. Like I got locked out. I just finished like financial 101 course, or like I just find something more to learn. Like I'm enjoy doing working from
right.
home. Yeah, so I get to know more people, and yeah, like you, I just like book more interview on podcast. I do have my own podcast as well, so just keep doing new things, and that's the
So
part of the
what
job.
is the name of your podcast, Muda? So if there's people out there that are interested in, again, reaching out and getting that connection,
Oh,
how do people get a hold of you?
so they can search by my name. They're gonna find me on many platform already, like LinkedIn, for example. And for the YouTube, you can search Get Unstuck. Get Unstuck Radio is the podcast name. Right now is episode 9. Today have to be published episode 10 actually. I will do that after interview with you.
Get unstuck. I like that. Get unstuck. Wow.
So that is my program name. It's called Get Unstuck because from solopreneur wearing like too many hats, right? To become a visionary CEO, totally have to get unstuck.
Oh my gosh. And that's true in no matter what facet of your life, whether it's business or personal. Get unstuck. And how do we get unstuck? Because sometimes we don't even know we're stuck, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
How many
exactly.
people do you talk to? They say, "Oh, I'm not stuck." It's like, "Oh, well, then what'd you call me for?" Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny like when at the time that we didn't have the lockdown, like whenever I joined the live event and I got to connect to more people like face to face. So we
Right.
talk and say like, hey, let's have a chat. Like, let's see how can we support each other, right?
Right.
When we like networking on the live event, and they say, okay, so what do you do? And then once I told them what do I do, I can help you free up the time, something like that. So they told me the story, what is happening from their end. And I just keep asking them questions, and then they say, oh yeah, that would be better.
Right. And it's interesting too because body language speaks so loud, right? And the tone of your voice, the expression on your face, everything speaks, right? And so with today's technology, rather than just having the old phones, where you picked up or, interviews, the world has changed a lot. So being able to have a connection like this and to be able to be that expression, right? And to see that person and how they express themselves. I mean, when you smile, your whole face lights up, right? Your eyes smile, your nose smiles, your forehead smiles, your chin smiles, your shoulders smile, right? It's that observant, and what happens is it's all done unconsciously, right?
Yeah.
So when you meet someone new, whether it's face to face or in a Zoom or something like this, right? Automatic, your see, touch, taste, smell, feel, senses are all being triggered, right? And that's how we feel resistance or acceptance, right? And become aware. And that's one of the things that I really love to teach is to help people find that awareness around them. What are the messages out there? What is nature telling you? Right? You walk down the same street, right? You walk around your same house, and now it's like, whoa, how many of you are out there guilty of saying, I rearranged my house 3 times already? Right?
I know. I have to put that on my calendar, so that I wouldn't forget. Like, okay, every Saturday I'm gonna do laundry. Like, I
Right.
have to keep that there because, like, hey, how long I have forgot to doing that? Like, because I'm staying in the like accommodation somehow. Yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
forgot.
And those are routines. And life is a routine, business is a routine, right? And it's not about getting stuck in that routine, but it's following it because that's what makes you consistent, and that's that checklist, right? So now you're
Yeah,
consistent in what you're doing, which then helps you to get to the ultimate end. Now, how can you improve that? And this is what you're, from what I'm understanding, is what you're looking for in your clients is to, what is it that you're doing and being consistent with? These are great steps, but what can we do now to broaden that stairway and maybe put in another step or improve on one of the steps that's there? But if you're not open and honest with yourself, you're not going to be open and honest with anyone that's working with you, right?
sure, 100%. Like exactly what you say. That's like the foundation, the basic of everything. And I'm not sure have you heard about this word or not, but I really like it. We attract who we are, right?
Yes.
So the real client supposed to be someone who have the same belief as me, the same characteristic as me, but just want my help to be better of themselves.
Right. Right. And it's that's that energy, you know. And we're all energy, and it's that attraction. Because you know what? Everyone out there isn't made to work with everyone else. We're all one
Yeah.
in the unit. The world is very small, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller the broader the technology gets, right? You know, and so being able to meet people and to interact, it's great. It's great. And so we have lots of choices to make. And if you don't make a choice, you've already made a choice, right? And change is consistent. And so it's finding what is going to be consistent in your life. What is it that you want? Every one of us, every one of you guys out there, listen here. This is so factual. You are an expertise, right? Don't be a jack of all trades, right? Because that's where delegating comes in. Don't be a jack of all trades. Know your expertise and flourish with that,
Yeah.
right? And then your lifestyle becomes your destiny. And you get these big aha moments, and it's easier to take those steps, right? Right?
Yeah, 100%. It's okay that it's quite slow or like it's not as fast as you think you would like it to be, but at least you realize and recognize that, hey, you have done a good job and
Right?
you are getting there. You are getting there eventually, no matter what. You're definitely going to get there.
Yeah. As long as you keep on being consistent and moving forward. And you mentioned something earlier about accountability, right? So having an accountability partner is really good. And a lot of times it's better to have an accountability partner that's out of your circle
Yeah.
versus, having your spouse or your kids or somebody at work or the friend next door or whatever, someone
Yeah.
that's completely removed from the situation to be your
It's the same.
accountability partner.
It's the same as when you hire a bookkeeper.
Uh-huh.
Don't let anyone close to you doing the bookkeeper for you,
Yeah.
because they will like think in terms of your own sake
Right.
on your behalf, and it's not so transparent. Just get someone else that like having credibility doing it for you.
Right. Right. And because that's their expertise. Right? It's not that you shouldn't know when you delegate someone. Know what it is, so you've done your own books for a while, you know what to look for and what not to look for. So when you put that trust in there, still become aware, check it every once in a while, check and say, okay, where do we stand here? Right? See what's going on. Because if you don't, you open the door for what? For someone to maybe cheat you, right? So always know what's going on. It's not that you're spying on them. This is what a good business person does. Everyone who is successful, all the millionaires and the billionaires out there, they know what their financial people are doing. They're aware of it, right? That's what keeps them honest and keeps the other person honest. It keeps you honest. It keeps them honest. So that's that again is that trusting factor. But don't get so over comfortable, because that's when danger strikes, right? So it's being aware. It's always being cautious, not being fearful, but being cautious, right?
100%.
Yeah. And don't be afraid if somebody's outgrowing you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say you have a financial advisor, you have a bookkeeper, whatever, and your business has really gotten bigger, and they're just for small businesses, not for big businesses, for investments and everything, it's okay to move to someone else without feeling guilty.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I know. I know. Like, I have been working with this person for 10 years. And
Yes,
and then
so, right? And yeah, because they become a friend. They become somebody that you really depended on. And so there's a lot of things. Well, they have a family, and if I, pull away, it's like, again,
what about you?
You're not the savior of the world, right?
Yeah.
And they were doing fine until they found you. They will find someone to replace, right? And again, it's about how we become comfortable in our business as well. Because if we become comfortable, the business gets stagnant. So these are the people that are coming to you to say, hey, my business is stagnant. Where do I go? What do I do next? Right? Right? So understand that the people you're delegating to right now, if that's the case, are they holding you back? Are they part of the stagnation problem? Right? And
I agree, because every hiring that you decided to do, they have to give back some return on investment.
That's right. That's right.
If that's not happen, you have to find a new one, or you have to do it yourself first,
right,
before you get more profit. Because
right,
that's how you decide whether you should hire someone or not.
Exactly. And then, because once you've experienced it yourself, now you know better what to look for and what it is that you're looking to accomplish, and where that person can expand on what you're delegating to them, right?
Yeah.
So, Mutita, oh my gosh, we could just keep this conversation going forever, right?
I know.
It's powerful. So, guys, if you've really enjoyed what Mutita has been talking about here tonight, comment below, right? Let her know what she has shared and how it's impacted your life. What little piece of information did she give you that helps you today to be just that little bit better you? What is that? Let us know. You want her back? Yeah, she's got lots of great stuff to share. Then say, hey, yeah, we want her back, right? So let us know what you would like to have her talk about, or someone else, I can't read your mind, but I can read your comments, right? So be an expression of that. Spill it, guys. Come on, spill it. Let us know what's going on, right? Mutita, I am so honored to have you on the show today. It was a blessing. I enjoyed it. And it just, wow, it warms my heart. And I wish you the best in everything that you're doing, and keep on keeping on. So if you had one more thing that you could share with the audience today that will help them to be that better them today, what would that be?
That one thing is that to believe in yourself no matter what. Like, whoever say you cannot do it, but you feel that you can, just go for it. And most of the time, you are right. So just don't give up on your dream. You're getting there. That's the thing that I will keep saying every time.
Oh, I just got chills. With that. Keep going for that dream, because it'll happen. Right? Again, thank you so much for being here. It's time to say, go out there to be that best you that you can be. Why? Because Mutita and I are going to be the best we can be, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It's my honor to be on your show as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And we will see you guys on the next show. Bye.